Let's learn about student demographics, also known as profile screens. Okay, so I'm logged in here as an administrator. It's AccuTrack or AccuSQL, same behavior. Then I'll go to student demographics and then profile setup. Now the profile questions here are used for you to collect information or store information for students. You can use up to 10 questions in the default lab here, and you can put whatever questions you'd like and then whatever answers you'd like. So these are the canned questions that come with the sample database, but you can modify these accordingly. What I've got here is a question navigator. If I click through these various questions, you can see the questions change and then the answers. So I have up to 10 questions available here in my default lab. And these profile answers are importable. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here is import some profile answers for students. Now what I'd like to do here is take this gender category and I'm going to change that, and I'm going to change it to, say, major. And then I'll save. Now it says some questions have already been answered. I'll lose the answers, that's fine. And then I'm going to delete my two answers here. I don't want male and female for my major. Okay, so now I have an empty profile question called major. Now, by the way, these 10 questions, you don't have to have all of them collect information. I've got a show or don't show checkbox here, so I can hide any of these profile fields that I don't want to collect information on, or hide from students for that matter. Okay, so now I'm going to go to Database Import, and I'm going to import a student list here into my student information, and I'm going to update student information from import file. Okay, so here's my student import. Then I do my mapping, student ID, first, last, email, zip, state, city, address, phone. Okay, but now here's what I'm trying to get to. See where it says major and age group. Okay, here's my profile fields down below, and you can see it's updated the header, the profile question, because I've already changed it back in the profile field, but I'm going to drag that into my major. And then my age group is right here. Okay, then I'll do next. Now it says it's found new values for the question major. So what I can do here is right-click, select all, and select and return. Now I do have major there, the header. I won't pick that. Add selected and return. And then it found a header for age group. I don't want to add that. Okay, so it's updated my student records in my import file. Now I can go back and look. And for some of the students on my import, Dan Arlington is one. It's showing his major is philosophy, his age group is 22 or under. And I could look at another one here. Major history over 22. So that updated the profile information for the students that I imported. It attached the profiles to the students themselves, and it also added them to my profile answers here. So that list will continue to grow as it finds new values to import into that profile field. Now, while you can import the profile information, you can also have the students enter the profile information themselves. And you can do that right here under Student Demographics Setup. And I've got one option here. It says Student Profile Update. So if I click that to on, that's going to prompt the students to enter their profile information one time while that update profile is on. So a student comes in, they get update profile. The next time they come in, they don't get it again. Each student would get it once. Now if I want to reset the clock, I can turn it off and back on, and the student will get it again. Okay, so now update profile is on. I'm going to return to my sign-in screen and sign in with the student ID. and then it says, please update your information. Here's my profile fields. Now, I'd already imported major and age group, but I can add, or have the student, I guess, add any other answers here. Now, also, I didn't mention you can make those profile fields required or mandatory, and it puts a red dot if that's the case. The student updates their information, clicks Next, and then they go about their normal sign-in process. Back in as an administrator. Next, I'm going to show you how the profile queries work. And right under Profile Query here, I can query the various profile questions in my database and then return the results back, typically to a student group. So let's say I want all of my people that are computer science and engineering majors. Now what I'm doing there is clicking the first one and holding the Control key and clicking the second one. So I can select any that I'd like that way. Click OK. And let's say over age 22. So show me my computer science and engineering majors that are over age 22. And I can view that. And I have two students that meet that criteria. Okay, and I now can create a student group right here from that. Computer science over 22. So just like that, I've created a group from a profile query. Then I can go to user student groups and then look at my computer science majors over 22. Now I have a different video that shows all of the various places we can use student groups. Now I can also collect profile information for local labs. So what I'm going to do here is, click on Student Demographics Profile Setup. And you can see right here it's Lab All. But let's say I want to collect different questions or different answers in my math lab. I'm going to switch now to math lab. And I have two questions. You can see the rest are not being shown. But I have two questions. Do you like math? And what is your favorite math class? So if I wanted to add a third one, I can do so very simply. I'm going to put a question in here. Are there enough computers in the math lab? I want to show that. And let's say I want to make that required. And then I'll put yes and no. Okay, so just like that, I've created a new profile. Now what I'm going to do is change to my math lab so we can see how that works. So right here, switch to Math Lab under System Lab IDs. And we can turn our profile update on also for the Math Lab. So let's do that right here. All right, return to sign-in screen, and now it says welcome to the Math Lab. That's my local lab setting. A student signs in. And it says update information. There's my 10 profile fields from my default. Remember, default will show everything. And then there's the 3 that I have set up for my math lab. I update my information, and then I go about my normal sign-in. Back to student demographics. Let's look at student profile here. So now I can run through my various students and see the answers to the questions that were in the math lab in this case. So there's the one I just signed in with. Do I like math, favorite math class, etc. You see lab math. Well, let's switch to default all, and we'll see that now I have the 10 questions from my default all lab. Okay, so that's how you can quickly look at that information. Now back in profile query, remember I have math here, so I can say who likes math, so I can query based on that local lab. And I have 4 students who answered yes, they like math. Okay, I can export that data. I can show a report for that data. So when I do that, these are all of the students that have answered, do you like math? And then I have all of their various sign-ins. So profiles are a good way to attach additional information to students, build student groups from them, and then you can use those student groups then in various ways such as report filters, messaging, etc.